What if you're not actually choosing many of the foods you eat? What if instead you're reacting to a carefully engineered cycle of craving, reward, and habit? Every day, millions of people promise themselves they'll eat differently. Less sugar, less snacking, more control. Yet somehow, those intentions disappear the moment a craving arrives. Why? Because most eating decisions don't happen consciously, they happen automatically. Today we're exploring the practice of conscious consumption, a powerful approach that helps you move from reacting to cravings toward understanding them. Because lasting change doesn't begin with restriction, it begins with awareness. Imagine reaching for a snack. You aren't physically hungry, you just finished the meal, yet something urges you to grab another bite. This is where many people believe the problem is willpower, but often something deeper is happening. A cue appears, a craving follows, a reward is anticipated, a behavior occurs, the cycle repeats. Over time, this loop becomes automatic. Not because you're weak, because your brain is incredibly efficient at turning repeated behaviors into habits. The more frequently the loop runs, the less conscious it becomes. Modern processed foods are often designed to be exceptionally appealing. They combine sweetness, texture, flavor, and convenience in ways that can encourage repeated consumption. The challenge isn't that sweet foods are inherently bad. The challenge is that many highly processed foods deliver intense sensory rewards with very little effort. When this becomes a daily pattern, natural foods can begin to feel less exciting by comparison. Not because they've changed, because your sensory baseline has changed. This is where conscious consumption begins, not by fighting cravings, not by judging yourself, but by observing. The next time a craving appears, pause. Don't immediately act, don't immediately resist, simply notice. What are you feeling? Are you hungry, bored, stressed, tired, seeking comfort, seeking stimulation? Most people have never learned to separate the craving from the action, but that tiny pause creates a powerful shift. You move from being controlled by the impulse to becoming aware of it. One of the greatest forms of freedom is sensory autonomy, the ability to experience a desire without automatically obeying it. Think about that. A craving appears. You notice it, you acknowledge it, but you choose your response consciously. This isn't suppression, it's awareness. And awareness creates options. For perhaps the first time, you're no longer a passenger in the process. You're participating in it. Something remarkable often happens when people reduce their intake of heavily sweetened foods. Foods that once seemed bland begin to taste different. Fruit tastes sweeter. Natural flavors become more noticeable. Subtle textures become more enjoyable. This isn't magic, it's recalibration. When the palate is constantly exposed to intense sweetness, moderate sweetness can feel underwhelming, but when overstimulation decreases, sensitivity often begins to return. Many people are surprised by how enjoyable simple foods become after a period of mindful reduction. Consider a ripe strawberry, a fresh peach, a handful of blueberries. These foods contain sweetness, but they also contain complexity, texture, aroma, variation. They engage the senses differently than many highly processed foods. The goal of conscious consumption isn't to eliminate pleasure, it's to expand it, to rediscover forms of enjoyment that don't rely exclusively on intensity. Here's a simple exercise. The next time you're about to eat something sweet, slow down, take a breath, observe the food, notice the smell, notice the anticipation, take one bite, then pause, really taste it. Pay attention to what changes after the first few bites. Does satisfaction increase, or are you simply chasing the memory of the first taste? This awareness can reveal patterns that normally remain invisible. Most people spend years trying to control food through discipline alone, but discipline without awareness often becomes exhausting. Conscious consumption offers a different path, one rooted in curiosity rather than punishment, observation rather than judgment, choice rather than reaction. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is participation, to become aware of what influences your decisions and to reclaim the ability to make those decisions intentionally. The healthiest relationship with food isn't built on restriction, but on balance and curiosity.